What's up, guys? What up? All right. All right. Yo, guys, how's it going? We're live, like we are most Mondays. Stoked to be here with all of you. I wasn't able to make some time to hang out with y'all here last Monday. We were in Mexico, thousands of people. We were doing this, but just in front of tons of people. So I couldn't make time for it. But the good thing is, if you have been plugging in here on this session, whether you're part of the community, whether you just pop in here once a week, come hang out for a little bit as you're on your own journey, you've been prepared. You've been prepared for months, all year. And so now you should be really enjoying the fruits of your labor. Or, I mean, you didn't even do too much. You just kind of did what you needed to, and you just did nothing. So congrats, guys, for everyone. I want to know here, everyone that's plugging in with me right now, how do you feel? I mean, you're looking at the crypto space, and life's pretty good right now. Life's pretty good. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys. How are those portfolios looking? Who's feeling a little bit of FOMO? Who's feeling good? Who's a little uncertain about what's coming next? Talk to me, fam. Talk to me. I see we got Seth in here. We got Ronald, Edgar, Kev, Mago, Dímelo, Pluto. What's up? Buenas noches. What's good? Dímelo. It's Gio. Enjoying the momento. Kevin, what's up, man? Always wish you had put in more, but happy to see gains. Feeling blessed. 100%. There's always that, man. I wish I would have put in more. I wish I would. It's like it's never gonna be enough. That's kind of that is human nature in itself. Like, we're always wishing we'd done more. And I mean, same here. I wish I would have done more. But what I will say is, one, it's not over, in my opinion. It's not over. I do think we're maybe today or tomorrow we'll start to kind of see this slow down and probably pull back a bit as well. In my opinion, I think we haven't even started, what we call altcoin season. That altcoin season, I don't think we're there yet either. And I'll go over a little bit why I think that as well. And we've seen the dollar do its thing. Elections, I shared that in the Telegram that I share with you guys here, that you all have access to. I shared one of my ideas. It hit like 7 risk reward on election day, and things are going pretty well. So there is some opportunity. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of game, a little bit of what I see in the market, whether it's some currency pairs, some majors, whether it's, what's going on with metals, huge drop today, a little bit of oil action, and indices, what is to come. And we have a bit to go into. So I'm going to start with some fundamentals, and then we're going to go and dive into everything else. So cool. Let's see. Okay, so let me see here. All right. So, and for those of you that are sharing and everything, the channel, the session, feel free. Obviously, it's for anybody and everybody. So, yeah, let's dive in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, oil is getting close to a zone. I don't have to rush into that, though, so that's fine. We'll be okay there. Okay, let's see here. And all right, perfect. You guys should be able to see this. All right, so before we dive into oil, spoilers, right? Let's see what the week has in store for us. So not too much, but also it's not too slow. Today we had, bank holidays, Veterans Day in the US. Nonetheless, we still had some volatility. Gold just kept melting. Indices got a bit of that delayed action. Over the weekend, Bitcoin was popping off, and it's still currently going absolutely insane. So indices kind of followed along with that, or at least US 30 did. And then Nas kind of did some liquidity things. We'll take a look at that. But anyways, it wasn't very slow. There was definitely movement today. And I actually talked about this. If you guys hop on the Spanish session, so Sundays I do the public Spanish sessions as well. And I mentioned how I was like, you know what, post elections, there's just a lot going on in just different markets anyways. These holidays or bank holidays, you can either get low liquidity and or irregular volatility. And I think that's kind of what we got. I think today was one of those moments where we got a little bit of that irregular volatility, considering that banks are closed. So I'm kind of ready for that. Now, what's good is that this is going to start to get a bit more momentum. So we do have GBP news here in less than 5 hours. So for those of you that are London session traders, feel free to take a nice little overview, look at some GBP pairs. Maybe you find something that interests you. I am a little low on sleep, and by a little I mean a lot, and so I will definitely not be up for London session, and I'm cool with that. I'd rather be well rested and ready for New York session. That's how I like to approach it, and so I'm good on that. Now, again, if you guys are in Europe, if you guys are in Asia, or if you just like to trade London session, I know some of the West Coast, you guys lean a bit into London session as well. So feel free, take a look at that, see what's up there. But tomorrow, honestly, this Asian session is going to be a good time for some setups. We have Australian dollar news tomorrow. So for those of you that have Asian session as kind of your preferred or sometimes the only time that you can trade, then you have it right here. So you have not just tomorrow, but also on Wednesday, we have back-to-back Australian dollar news events in back-to-back days, but there's actually 3 in the matter of 2 days. So there's a good chance something will set up for the Australian pairs. However, I would say the biggest news event where we can expect, I would say, the most volatility for the week is going to be CPI. CPI, month after month, usually delivers some pretty good price action. So an hour before New York open, for those of you that are New York session traders, get up and early on Wednesday, be ready for what's to come. Some things might start to set up tomorrow, and sometimes things happen like just a little bit before the news event. So Wednesday, definitely make the time, be ready for that. I think it's worth it. It's very well worth maybe getting up a little earlier than you might. And however, here's the thing. If CPI doesn't trigger any ideas for you, it doesn't set you up for something, what happens oftentimes is that it can set up for the next day. It can set up for the next event. So sometimes CPI isn't what activates ideas, it's what sets up the next one. So Thursday, so the next day right after CPI, we do have PPI and unemployment claims, followed by Powell speaking. And this Powell speech here, as you guys can see, it's in a panel discussing global perspectives, this is hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. And then where it gets interesting usually is with these audience questions. These audience questions sometimes can just lead to some answers that can create the excuse for some fun volatility. So Wednesday, Thursday for me, I think are going to be where we'll see the most action. So even if tomorrow, let's say you're just kind of not really seeing much, again, don't force anything. You don't have to trade every day. You don't have to be in the markets all the time. Just let the market do its thing. All right. So that's Thursday. And then Friday, finally, we will see retail sales Friday might not be the most with currency pairs. Either way, every day there could be opportunities for indices anyways. I didn't really have textbook setups for today with any of these indices. There was some liquidity capture that happened towards the end of the session, and I'll look at that a little bit, but I think we're going to start to have a bit more fun with indices from Wednesday and beyond. So, November traditionally, and especially election years, sometimes it's a little bit slower gearing into things, but I will add, this is a different, there's a different energy around these times. This is my third post-elections November. So 2016 was the first, 2020, and then now 2024. So it's definitely, there's a different aura, there's a different energy, there's a different sentiment around the markets right now. Crypto, a lot of all-time highs, Bitcoin specifically. You have a massive shift in just the overall direction of the U.S. economy in general. Stocks are at all-time highs. So there's just a lot of excuse for volatility. So I do think this will be a little different than we are used to. With that being said, next week, something very, very cool is next week I will be doing this. I'll be trading live in person in Cali, Arizona, and Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. So if you guys are in those states, definitely make sure you show up. Go to these workshops. It's going to be awesome. We're going to literally do this in person, have a room packed, different traders. This is going to be an awesome culture. So I hope I get to see you guys there. Even if you're not in state, but if you want to make the drive, do it. It's going to be epic. So, okay. With that being said, we can go into the next couple things. Before I do start, I want to dive into the chat real quick just to see if there's any questions regarding fundamentals in general. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see. Why is this being weird? Ghana. All right, what's up, Ghana? Mago Mondays, like that. Would you simply let your crypto positions run if you aren't feeling any FOMO, or did you want to address crypto later on? I will tackle crypto towards the end, because I think this is where everybody wants. Now, finally, everyone's like, oh man, I should have been doing something about it. Been talking about it for years. Maybe I should have not dropped the streams, and I should have been plugging in and paying more attention. See you on Monday, Mike. Awesome. So you must be in Cali, AZ. So I'll see you on Wednesday of next week. Epic. All right, cool. So let's dive into it. We're going to kick things off with, I'm going to do this briefly. I'm not going to go this is going to be a jog. Not going to be a sprint, but we're going to jog through some of these Australian pairs because we do have Asian session setups for tomorrow and Wednesday, and you guys are on right now, which is Asian session. So if this is your time, then I want to make this worth it for you. Maybe this is the only time you can really dive in and take some positions. So let's dive into it. And actually, I have a question for you guys. Let me know in the chat, how many of you this is your trading session? These are your trading hours. Let me know if this is kind of the common time that you start to take on some positions, etc. So, okay. Looking at this, guys, this is AUD CAD. AUD CAD is honestly looking pretty solid for some positions here. I actually really like this. So we have equal lows. So there's retail buyers setting up here. And just to give you guys some context, I'm not going to explain literally everything that I'm doing since there's a lot that I want to cover. And I do have another session for the community in 40 minutes. So I do want to zip through some stuff, but I'm going to generally review kind of what I see in opportunities that I think are pretty solid. But on elections day, markets crashing. We caught this Australian sell-off, and right around here. So right around here we get this move, and this pushes price way down, and this ends up clearing out these support levels, these equal lows, and this just sweeps it and then runs. So we definitely see a very intentional sell-off right here. I mean, I'm not someone that trades forex all of the time, especially not Asian session too much, but we definitely get to see where the market stalls out, creates some more support, and then finally makes its way further down. So right around here, I think we sell off and then rally, and we haven't quite gotten back there, right? We haven't quite gotten to these areas, so I think we can. I think the market can keep pushing down, whether this is an Australian or Canadian dollar influence. This is definitely ripped to the downside before this continues to pop off. So looking at this, yeah, we got some ways to go. And also, so we have the sweep, and then we have the continuation. So the market on Thursday just keeps rallying, and the daily candle closes up here. This goes into Friday session, and it isn't really until Friday New York session that it starts to work its way lower. So as I look at this, I kind of am getting the vibe that we do close bullish. We do lose some momentum, but I mean, we're here for a whole day, well over just about a full day of trading above these highs. However, as quickly as it goes up, it does kind of come down. So can we get a reversal from here? Yes. Will we get a higher high? That's a different story. So I like the play. I like the entry model. I think here where we've seen support before, and we've seen it even way over here. So this is a pretty strong level. The market actually really loves reversing off of this zone. Looks like that's right around that 0.91. Beautiful whole number. Looks like we get some pretty solid reversals around these prices. So we'll say 91 flat. This might give us a stop of roughly a little under 30 pips. And I would target at least some of these imbalances. We don't have to go for higher highs. That doesn't have to be the motive. I wouldn't even want to target all of that. It's not really necessary. But to take this to fill some of this imbalance, for the market to then clear out some of this liquidity. Here's where the market popped off and then sold. So if anything, I mean, there's a good chance that the market might even want to sell from this zone as well. So I'm very curious on what happens next here. And this is not how I wanted that. All right, 1 second, guys. Let's readjust this. Okay, gotta make sure everything looks nice and aesthetic. So yeah, I think we can get into this area. Over a 3 risk reward, I'm for it. I'm about that life. I'm for this. So tomorrow, we do have that news event. We talked about this, right? We saw Australian dollar news at 6:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, and then Wednesday we have same thing, 5 and 6:30. So across these times, guys, if we're really gonna focus on what can happen, I think the next 48 hours or so should position the Australian market into something like this. Now, before I say this is the official idea that I'm going to take, I always keep in mind other currency pairs, correlated pairs. I always like to know, okay, what are those doing? So this looks good. This looks quality. Let's take a look at some other things before I go ahead and share this. So let me go and put this to the side. All right. Again, guys, any thoughts, any questions that you guys have, just share them in the chat. Get that clarity, get that feedback. All right, so let me go ahead and drop this here. All right, I guess I'll just do this. All right. So we have, what was this? Odd cab. Okay. All right, put this on the other screen so we're good to go. Sweet. So for right now, odd cat looks pretty solid. Let's take a look at some other ideas with the Australian pairs and see what's up. See what we got. We have AUDCHF, not bad. Similar scenario here. Actually, really similar scenario. This looks, actually, this is a little bit better, not gonna lie. So here we have the push down, and then this thing just rallies. So AUDCHF looks like CHF is just set up a little bit differently. And we could see some reversals off of this area as well. So if we compare how these are looking, the new chart layout reminds me of a video game. Was that intentional? Which video game? So yeah, as you guys can see here, it is a big difference. AUDCHF is much more bullish. So the chances of this coming into the zone and actually reversing off of here is much better. The probabilities of this holding this structure is pretty good. So I would definitely lean more towards AUDCHF. Just in general, I think this is a better shot of reversing off that zone and actually, like, staying bullish. So odd CHF instantly, to me, looks like a much better opportunity. Then we have AUDJPY, similar situation, right? Big sell-off, rally. However, this is not as sustainable. This kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So thankfully, being aware of how these pairs correlate, that really wouldn't have been one to take anyways. Just comparing this to the rest of them, odd JPY was definitely just selling off at just a much more aggressive pace. And then we have similar situations, odd NZD, the market just starting to sell off faster than everything else, so no point in taking that position. And then we have AUD-USD, which is right now, which is what I was leaning on taking a position here, but again, when you compare this to these other scenarios, AUD-USD is pretty bearish. Just look at AUD-USD right now, which is under a 71% pullback. And then you can look at AUD-CHF, where the pullback is light. This is a light pullback. We're looking at we're talking 38.2 type of retracements right now. So this could come down so much more. So right now, if I was to qualify these ideas and confirm what's kind of the best scenario, I'm definitely leaning more towards AUD-CHF. Now, when you take a look at something like this, which was like Euro AUD and GBP AUD, I really do think that these are some quality ideas as well. We are relatively far away, so the market has to come back all the way up here, and in order to possibly sell off from this zone. So we got a long way to go. The pullback here is pretty mellow so far, but this is also pretty quality, and you can see you have equal highs, so there's that resistance. You have the sweep of these highs before the market rallies down. So Euro AUD looks pretty solid. This will require patience. This may not happen until Wednesday, for all we know. But right now, if I were to categorize the ideas, the setups we've looked at so far, Euro AUD followed by AUD CHF kind of take the cake here. And then let's take a look at GBP AUD. Ooh, big pump. However, the market has rallied pretty quickly as well. So as much as this went up and then came crashing down, it's just pulling back very quickly. And in my opinion, these drops when you see like a drop that does this, this is, I think, people actually call this like kind of like that teacup setup, but something like this where you do a big drop and then a big recovery and it happens relatively quickly or at the same pace. I look at this and I don't see this drop as something that is seeking a bearish trend, but in my opinion, this looks like something completely different, which is this lures in sellers, liquidates buyers, and then once there's enough money ready, now this thing can start ripping. So even if you look at this on the weekly, now you can see this is just a massive wick. So the market always leaves clues, especially as you see it from a higher lens, from a higher time frame. The market didn't come down here to be bearish. It just went down there to clean up, brought out the broom here. So this does have more of a bullish vibe to it. And again, the market has pulled back much quicker. If you compare GBP AUD and you compare that to Euro AUD, you guys can see Euro AUD is so much more bearish. It's got a longer way to go. So this is definitely a much, much better idea. What am I go? Pac-Man. Got the Pac-Man vibes right now. Okay, so that basically sums this up. So for Australian, I like Euro odd CHF. I'm leaning towards those quite a bit more. And that's kind of, those are those would be mitigating elections price action. Now we did talk about Australian stuff, but I do want to get to what I know most of you look at, which is the dollar pairs, right? Mike, what is Euro USD gonna do? What is gold gonna do? What are these all gonna do? So let's dive into it, guys. I talked about AUD USD and how I originally liked some ideas, but after the market has given us more and more context, I think this is just going to keep pushing further down. I don't think it's quite ready. NZD USD has left liquidity here, is not dropping at the same pace. This is definitely taking more of its time to get to these key levels. So I could imagine us working our way further down here with NZD USD. Possibly we get an opportunity here. I'm not fully sold on these buys with NZD USD. Like we talked about, there's other things that look a bit more effective. Now looking at Euro USD. Euro USD has been very bearish. Relative to these other pairs that end with the dollar, Euro USD here has been just dropping and dropping and dropping. AUD USD and NZD USD, yeah, they've been bearish, but they've kind of held up the last couple days. Not here. Euro USD it's just crumbling. This is just falling apart. And at this point now, you know, as I zoom out here, we are, let's see here, we got down to these higher time frame lows. We're talking about the lows of April 2024, and I think we can go down lower. Here, if you look at November 2023, we had a pretty big sell-off before the market rallied. Is there a chance that the market wants to get back down to these levels? Well, let's find out. Let's go investigate these imbalances, and let's go look at November 2023. You know, we're about a little over a year out, and what was the market showing us over here? If you look at Euro USD from November of 2023, there's definitely imbalances right around here. If I'm not mistaken, this is kind of where price is at right now, right around this area. There's definitely more imbalance over here, and what we see is we kind of see a drop off and then the continuation. So as I'm zooming in here, yeah, look at this. And this is the beauty of going from higher time frames to lower time frames in those key zones. So I'm looking at this, and to me, this looks like liquidity, a sell-off. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. we're doing surgery here. Market surgery. Getting down to the nitty gritty. We're on the 1 minute time frame from something from a year ago. Okay, so basically we start to really form some good support, and then the market starts to dip off, come up again, and then finally drop. So, I mean, around this area, we definitely see a strong sell-off. We can just take all of this into consideration. It's roughly 35 pips or so. So let's zoom out here. Okay, so what we can notice is that in the past, the market's reversed off of this zone quite a bit. 1.0526, even up here a little bit higher, 1.0535, pretty consistently. And let's extend this out and see where this can take us. So have we gotten to this price action yet? Have we closed out that sell-off since that time last year? And we have not. So Euro USD on these higher time frames, could we get a reversal over here? Taking a look here, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Right now, a lot of these pairs are looking like they want to kind of crack the low of the year. NZD USD here has left behind liquidity, so the market should push further down to there as well. We have AUD USD that this actually might not get anywhere lower. It might just come in and fill some of this imbalance as well. So okay. So yeah, I think the dollar is gonna just keep gaining that strength, and I wouldn't be totally shocked if we work our way down to these levels. What data feed was I using? There we go. So this would have to drop at least another 100 pips or so. But this is very interesting to me. Sweeping the lows for the whole year to then rally, that's a possibility. That is most definitely a possibility. Alerts have been set. So Euro USD, this is the macro. So could we see a sweep here? I mean, with CPI and PPI coming in a couple days, it's definitely not impossible. So this is Euro USD. And I'll look at the other pairs before we get ahead of ourselves. Again, guys, with some of these, it might require for you to adapt to the scenario. Should USD give the impression of going stronger? I mean, it looks like it should keep pushing down. It could pull back a bit, but overall, I think we have a kind of bigger targets there. As we look at GBP USD, which in my opinion has been a slower drop, there's this open idea still here. So this one is really not too far away from from an entry. And then we definitely have some more imbalance and something going on over here from August of this year. So, I mean, if we want to go dive into this, I guess, since you guys are begging me to go into the smaller time frames here, we can do that. So let's get in there, you know? It's time to perform some market surgery here. And I mean, we do get these lows, so we get some pretty, we get new lows, we liquidate that, but this basically makes equal lows here. So could we come down to here and reverse? Yes, we could. However, I would say it's a little vulnerable. It has liquidity here. This could just break through. It's not completely out of the ordinary, and then that could lead us to, you know, some price action over here, but it's very similar. Like how we talked about, this has basically equal lows, if I'm not mistaken. So here, let's just dive into this. This is from July. So all right, let's take a look here, see what's going on. All right, so we have, ooh, okay, this is not bad. This is not bad. So GU does one final sweep, last cleanup, gets below these lows, looks like it mitigates, fills here, and then rips. From here, nothing. It goes untouched. Ooh, okay, so I mean, I would be mindful of this situation here. This seems like a pretty decent opportunity. This goes and nothing ever closes out that idea. So I would rather look for a sell, like a buy down here. Now this would have to drop another 200 pips or so. But if we're looking at Euro and we're looking at GU, to me, GU has been less intense in the drop relative to the rest. So I do think we might have something going on there in the future. And it might be worth having that patience. So GU. What's up, Emmanuel? What's up, Joy? Okay, so yeah, didn't expect to go into the daily time frame here with GBP USD, but we are here, and I've seen this. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen this a lot where you have kind of like a daily structure and it just breaks under briefly and then quickly comes back in. This GU setup is kind of enticing. So I think we can get down to this level. I don't know how well this is going to hold. I think we might break under this. I'm liking reversals off of here instead. So this could take some time though. This probably isn't going to be this week. But something like this could be very interesting. So GBP USD. Add it to the list. Oh no. That went out too early. Alright. There we go. Oh no. In that moment, I messed up. Okay. Here we go. All right, so don't have too much time. So we're gonna get it done though. Coach, any candlestick strategy, please. That's not exactly what I teach. I'm not really a candlestick patterns trader. I don't think I've really looked at too much at candlestick patterns, just trading them by itself since like 2017. For me, it's more about understanding where's the money. Where is it sitting? Where's the retail money sitting? Where are these whales looking to liquidate or rebalance the market or, mitigate the market? That's kind of what I'm looking for. Now, USD CAD is interesting. We see a cool sell-off and then the continuation. However, when we compare this to something like USD CHF, it's the structure so much more bullish. This went well above the highs, has been maintaining these highs. So when you compare the two, I would be patient. I would say whenever these decide to make their pullbacks, I'm going to want to take a swing at one of these when we know which one is going to get to that zone last, which one's getting there last. So for now, excuse me, I'm leaning more towards USD CHF. since it's made higher highs and it's just trading much more bullish, anything's possible though. We shall stay patient, but USD CHF looks to be having a better hold than USD CAD. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. UJ, Now gold. Guys, gold got the best of me today. We had the sweep. Apparently gold just was not playing that game today. Did not want to mitigate this. And I looked at silver. Silver seemed like it was clearing all of this money anyways. So I guess it just needed to get below all of this. And silver definitely did that. But the good thing is, what comes from this is this sell idea that silver here is presenting. So silver has done a great job in not only clearing these lows, but just staying bearish. The market traded here the rest of New York session, closes here. So yeah, this to me looks quality. I think we could definitely see some pretty awesome sells from this zone. Have a nice risk reward, nice stop within structure, and something like this can give us almost a 5R, in my opinion. Like this could be looking pretty good. So there is silver. And I got a lot of charts that are going to be dropped in this Telegram. The Telegram's in the description, by the way, guys. So if you guys want to join that, it's there. If you guys want to follow up with these ideas. Now, something someone brought up to me was copper. And they said, you know, here was the same kind of gold push down before the rally. So if you guys want to kind of see what I'm seeing here. You had gold make this low, sweep these lows during Wednesday Asian session. Copper slightly beforehand does something similar, and then it rallies, but on the way down it looks like copper was just a lot slower, and maybe why gold eventually just kept pushing down. Something to look at. Haven't done enough back testing to really check the validity of that correlation, but I kind of get it. So, okay, natural gas gapped up, things flying. Mexican peso did end up respecting this imbalance and kind of selling off from there. I was okay with staying out of this because of how quickly it went down and up. So that's cool. I was like, yeah, I don't really need to be in this. So I'm kind of chilling for now. Bitcoin, big drop just now. All right, we just saw this. It really was pushing for that 90K. Just a little short here. And we have dropped about 2,000 pips in the last 2 hours or so. Finally, this thing decides to go down a little bit. So we'll see what happens, because the 80s, it just blasted through 80s, almost getting straight to 90 within like a day. So we'll see. This could still hold and keep rallying, so I'm not necessarily too concerned. Bitcoin seems to be dropping a bit more aggressively than the rest. And then that brings us to indices. I know finally y'all are like, all right, let's get to these indices. I want to see US 30 and what's going on with NASDAQ, all that good stuff. So what we've seen so far, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, but we did see the rebalance after New York Open that just popped off. The market slowly worked its way down, creating this like perfect trend line. At some point, I'm sure we're gonna get beyond this again, but for now, the position that I really see pretty clearly is a buy position with US 30. It does need to drop significantly more, but we do see a nice sell-off and then just the rally. So for this to get to, you know, these previous high lows as an exit, a little under a 5R, that's incredible. This could even push all the way up to here. I'm not sure. But 5R is great. So something like this, love an opportunity like this with US 30. Man, I got a lot of charts over here. A lot of things going on. From there, NAS, and this is what we were talking about. This isn't necessarily my textbook entry, but I understand the narrative behind it. This, as soon as it clears liquidity, it plays out of this area and just rips. Absolutely rips. So from here, what can we have? What can we expect? Because this sells off and then immediately comes back up, continues to work its way higher. Are we going to come back down to here? Could we have some buy positions over here? Because I look at this and I see here's where the sweep starts, chops up again, one final drop, and then this thing pushes. So could we see the market, get to these areas and then go up again? I think it's possible. So as of now, yeah, I don't see why we couldn't see a nice little play here with NAS 100. 15-minute time frame, it's not terrible. It's not awful. Would have preferred that we closed up here a bit more, but considering that second half of the day we end up rallying, the market then trades up here. Asian session, we might end up just ranging up here anyways, and then New York session, we may end up coming back for, to close out the sell-off and rip. So this is not terrible. Either way, I also am curious about over here because we also see NAS really pop off from over here. Massive sell-offs before recovering. So for us to even sell off from here, it's actually not bad either. So either way, whichever way we go first, I think we can trade inside of this range. We don't necessarily have to break out of anything, but collecting within the range, to me, it's a win-win. So this is NAS 100 as well. ¿Qué tal Peru? What's up? NAS 100. Okay. And then that leaves us with S&P 500, which tends to be kind of the middle child here, which we're seeing the sweep of liquidity, imbalance fill, still could run. But S&P did leave something interesting over here. This definitely kept pushing down, and maybe at some point we'll see something happen on the higher time frame. But for now, we're seeing a difference here, and things are setting up pretty well. So final words, guys, relating to crypto in general, because I know many of you were asking me. And the question specifically was, would you simply let your crypto positions run if you aren't feeling any FOMO, or did you want to adjust crypto later on? So regarding what to do now, I'm going to answer with a couple different things to keep in mind. Number one, Bitcoin dominance. So at the moment, Bitcoin has a big weight in the overall total market cap. So it's very much, the biggest player in the game, and by a long shot. All year, this has only been, in all of 2023, this has only been gaining more and more strength over the entire market. You can see that since 2023, Bitcoin is just a heavier and heavier and heavier total of the entire space. In my opinion, I still think we got to go up a few more percentage points before we start to ease into, Bitcoin starts to have less ownership of the entire market cap, and other altcoins start to kind of take over, and we see the power of Bitcoin, the strength, the overall, like the amount of market cap it has, just go down, and I think we'll get to at least this 40%-ish. So what that means is that I think Bitcoin is going to have more weight than the rest for a bit longer. which is cool. Now, so that means that we haven't quite even gotten into the altcoins yet. And to wrap up my perspective here, when we look at the overall market cap, so this is total is like everything. Total is total, right? Total one. This is the entire market cap of the crypto space. We are almost about to break above the all-time highs. Historically, like most amount of market cap in crypto. Almost there. Wow. Now when we look at the crypto market cap minus Bitcoin, so Ethereum and everything else, we are not at all in the same positioning. Like at all. This is the market cap when you take out Bitcoin. So ETH and friends. From 2021, guys, we still, like altcoins still have to travel almost 50% growth to get to November of 2021 in amount of in money. So yeah, we got a long way to go. Now, I do think that we're gonna get a bit more of a push. I think here, whether it's today or tomorrow, I think that the total market caps are gonna go a little bit stronger. I think they can clear some of this high just a little bit more, and then I think we can see some pullbacks. Because I do think we're gonna get back to those election prices, or at least this structure right here, sometime soon. I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna pull back into here before 2025. I think we'll see a pullback like this, maybe going into like Christmas times. I think we could see something like that, and then from there we just fully send it. So I think we could see some of these Christmas pullbacks while everyone's spending their money. You know, there might be a play here. So I'm curious. We got to operate from a place of abundance. You don't have to FOMO into anything. You don't have to rush into anything. The markets, what do? They go up and down, not just up. So you waited to do things, and now that you've waited for too long, and maybe you're late, what if you waited just a bit longer, but then not ruined your chance? So I think the market coming back down and getting to these areas is where I would start to position myself in again with altcoins. So that's my take right now. If you think you can time the high and then you have more money to work with when it pulls back, awesome, do so. If you don't have that kind of confidence in your skill sets, then you don't need to. So anyways, guys, appreciate you guys. It's been a blast. I am going to share the here we go, YouTube live stream setups scenarios. Okay. Cool. All right, well, there you have it, guys. The link to this is right there. There you go. Cool. Sweet. All right, guys. Peace out. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all. For those of you that are plugging in a New York session with me, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. The rest of you, I'll see you next Monday. Make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications on so you don't miss any setups. And